Now we have fear of penguins and staying home.
Do we have any entrepreneurs in the class? In the room? Any people who have passions? This is more a story about pursuing your passion, your dreams, doing what you really like to do than it is about open source software. This is Tux. Tux is sort of the poster child of the open source movement. The logo for Linux, which is possibly the largest open source development and certainly the most well known. But open source isn't just about software, it's not just about computers. People are using the idea of open source to build things, to do digital fabrication. These folks are in Ethiopia using the concept of open source to fabricate things. It's an exciting concept. I believe these penguins have heard about it, and that's why they're dancing. I was excited about it. I was starting a new business venture, and I decided to use open source as the beginnings for that business venture. Maybe the penguins were dancing because they heard the Grateful Dead had found a replacement lead singer. Actually, this is Richard Stallman, the founder of the Free Software Foundation, and probably the biggest evangelist of the open source movement. I was excited. I was approaching this with childlike enthusiasm. I was going to start my business venture leveraging something that other people had been working on for years, a huge body of code. And then I became a little bit fearful. What if the penguins weren't dancing because the music was good? What if they were dancing because they were being paid to dance? I started getting a little more apprehensive. I thought, I'm basing my business on something that's free, that's a commodity, available to anyone? What if I'm out there with this sign that says, we'll code HTML for food? I began to get a little bit worried, to be honest. I was looking at a business plan where I was trying to make a living, and I was basing the whole business on something that was free, available to anyone. I was a little nervous. I was getting a little fearful. I wouldn't be able to stay at home and run my business, and then it hit me. I know what you're thinking. Was it the stomach flu? Was it the day after the party? Actually, what hit me was there are lots of ways to pursue your passion. And one of them is to provide a service. Maybe not necessarily a janitorial service, but even when you have free software or commodity products that are your passion and your interest, you can still provide graphic art, packaging, distribution. There are lots of ways to pursue your passion. Maybe you take that freely available, that commodity item, such as open source software, and you wrap a product around it. In this case, the new T-Mobile phones based on Android. They use hardware. This is where I get to take a breath to keep from passing out up here from speaking like this. Very entertaining for all of you, not so much from up here. You don't have to be a geek and do computer and software. Your product might be a yoga mat. You don't have to be a yogi. You don't have to open a studio to pursue your passion. You can create some hardware aspect of it. We wrapped a computer around open source software. But there are other ways that you can participate and share your passion. One of them is educating people. I have learned a great deal from YouTube. Some of it even useful. You can come here in a traditional classroom and present at UNM or teach a class. Another thing you might even do, you might write the book on your topic, on your passion. I was looking for a book for about 3 days. I looked and I looked and I could not find this book, so I had to Photoshop it. But you don't need to be the expert in your field to pursue your passion. Simply write a good story about how you got to where you are. To recap, there are some ways you can pursue your passion. Service. There's always a necessary service. Hardware. Wrap some hardware around whatever your passion is. And education. I meet with a group on the first and third Monday of every week, a group of entrepreneurs, and this is what we do. We talk about ways to make our passion into business and to promote our business by pursuing our passion and finding ways to do this. It's called the Jumpstart Generator. It's sponsored by my company, Vanguard Tech, and you can find a website at vanguard-tech.com/jumpstart. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I know I will, because now I'm done.
Yeah.